Yeah, that's all.
All right, we're live.
I'm going to say hello to all the people out on YouTube.
Yes, this is Jolly McPhee. Thank you. He's been helping us do this meetup for 11 years, and we've always had our meetup streamed online. So anytime you want to participate, you don't actually have to come here in person. So hello also everyone out there on YouTube that's participating today. I'm Thomas Logan, one of the founders of Accessibility New York City, and really happy to have you all here. One of our big mission statements is to make sure people can be included by not having to come physically in person. So that's been a huge thing that Jolly McPhee from the Internet Society of New York has enabled for us from the beginning. So we are streaming live on YouTube. I want to give a shout out to Ben Ogilvy, who's downstairs still helping people come up here for the event, one of the co-organizers. And I want to say a thank you to our sponsors. We have quite a bit of sponsors that enable us to make sure that our events are accessible and inclusive. I want to say thank you to IRA, AKQA, Advanced Equal Entry, Fable, and DQ. For these companies, IRA is an app that connects people who are blind or low vision to professional visual interpreters for secure access to visual information anytime, anywhere. AKQA, the office that you're in right now, is a global digital design and innovation agency for providing the space for our meetup. DQ is a leader in digital accessibility tools, services, and trainings. Equal Entry, my company, a digital accessibility consultancy focused on results. Advanced, the software for accessible development, and Fable, an accessibility platform powered by people with disabilities. So all of our sponsors enable us to ensure that we do have an accessible event. We're really happy to announce we have a new co-organizer, Arena. Remember that? Arena has been helping us out at multiple events, and we're really excited to have her join our team. And you know, as we continue to grow, we also just reached our 6,000th member today. So
wow, 6,000.
We look forward to continuing to grow the meetup. You know, the more people that can come and learn about digital accessibility and inclusion, the better. So we're always looking for feedback. If you have any feedback on how we can make the experience more inclusive or available, let us know. We're here to listen and make it better. We want to say thank you to, we always have human captioners, and we have our human captioner Mirabai Knight today captioning for us, and she has been captioning for us from the very beginning as well for 11 years. So thank you, Mirabai Knight, for the human captioning. And we also want to say thank you to Flip Wilson from IRA for tonight's ASL interpretation. If you would be interested in using live audio descriptions, IRA also does have that functionality available in a geofence for this room. If you'd like to have that and don't know how to set that up, come talk to me. I also want to be saying Meryl Evans, also one of the co-organizers. She is online on YouTube fielding questions online. So please know that if you are watching online, we take equal amounts of questions in person and online for our presenters tonight. There we go. Oops. I think I need to get you guys to your slide. But without further ado, I'm just going to introduce Kai and Asha for our presentation tonight. Really excited to have both of you all here and look forward to learning from you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You want to go ahead?
Welcome to Saturday Night Live, SNL, but the Unpaid Actor Thursday edition. Tonight stars Sky, a cartoon panda, and Skasha, a cartoon cow. Sky will play a role of a product owner and a designer, while Skasha is an engineer. Lights, camera, action!
Hey, Skasha. I'm Sky, a product panda.
Hey, Sky. I'm Skasha, an engineer.
I have an awesome new feature. Super simple. It's just a button to launch a report. We designed a custom button, blends perfectly into the page, no border, no label, and it changes color on hover.
Custom button? Oh, I think I should use a div tag and add on click event. That would be faster to deliver.
Sure, I don't care. Sounds good to me.
Okay, Sky. I have built it, QA has tested it, and we have deployed it to production. It's live, Sky.
Woohoo! Nice! Just in time. Looks just like my mock-up. Thanks, Asha.
High five.
High five.
1 week later.
Skasha. Ooh. I got this email from member support. Somebody is saying they can't use the button with a keyboard or a screen reader.
Oh, we didn't use a button element. And there is no ARIA label. It's invisible to assistive technology, and the color contrast fails too. Oops. Hey Sky, I have an idea. There is a NYC and Meetup event tonight. Want to go to the event to get some ideas to make it more accessible?
Yeah, I'm down. We need all the help we can get.
Sure, let's go.
Howdy doodle, everyone. So nice to see everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Ben Merrill Thomas, Accessibility New York City, baby. I am so excited to be here. And just a heads up, we will describe any slides as we need to, if there's images or anything like that. But otherwise, we will speak to what is on the slide. As I said, my name is Kai Wong, and my pronouns are she or they. And I am a principal of digital accessibility at Teladoc Health, the world's leader in the global leader in virtual healthcare. Today, I'm joined by my colleague, Asha, who will introduce themselves shortly, but first, a visual description for myself. I am a non-binary person. I have short black hair. I have gold glasses on. I'm half Asian, I'm half white, and I usually am walking around with a big old cheesy smile. Asha?
Thank you, Kai. I'm Asha Sachdeva. My pronouns are she or her. I am a senior manager, software engineering and championing digital accessibility at Teladoc Health. Visual description: wearing blue-colored blazer, the checked one, long black hair, not that long, but yeah, long earrings, and with smiling face. Thank you. And Kai and I have led remediation of hundreds of accessibility issues. No, not 100, right? More than hundreds of accessibility issues. Trained over 2,000 people, worked over shift-left strategy, and today we are excited to share some tips on championing digital accessibility. And I would like to see if there are any engineers in this crowd. Raise your hands or smile. Yeah, I'm sure you feel like a superhero when you deploy some accessible feature to production, or some critical accessibility bugs. I feel so. Over to you, Kai.
Thank you, Asha. Yes, this is Kai speaking, and let's talk about what we all came here to do, championing accessibility. And first, it's important to ask, what makes an effective change champion? What makes an influential leader? It's somebody who can rally around a shared interest, get others to rally around and move towards that shared interest all together. Somebody who has a big idea and can get others to be sold on that. And today, we're all going to become big change champions, especially of accessibility. And I want to mention, you don't need a fancy title to be a champion of change. You don't need authority to make ripple effects happen and huge waves afterwards. What you need is passion and a few other things, which we are so excited to share today a little bit more about what has worked for us. First, believe in yourself and prioritize learning. Learn from trusted resources. Don't get lost in the sauce, because there is so much information out there. It's so easy to just get lost and end up on something that's not that reliable. But make sure to at least start with the WC3, the W3C, w3.org. You can look into, of course, the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, the WCAG. Any big WCAG fans in here? Okay, all right. Lovely crowd, I love it, okay. I'm sure the crowd online too just shut down the internet with that one. Let's not crash YouTube yet, just not yet. And of course, learn assistive technologies. Learn the tools that people with disabilities often use, like screen readers and anything else on your phone. Just easily open it up, go to settings, and look for your accessibility settings and try out those different features. Get familiar with those, become friends with them. Not that far, but get familiar with them. And let's not forget that accessibility really comes down to people. So get connected, put yourself out there, and meet as many people as you can, especially those who are different from you. Because the more connections you build, the more allies you can have, and also the more that you build the empathy for yourself. And empathy is an underrated skill in tech, for sure. Once you have the knowledge yourself, you gotta spread that sauce, baby. Spread that sauce everywhere. Spread it like pizza, like the sauce on pizza. Oh, you want a little pepperoni on that? You're gonna get that too. Teaching others is so important because it raises awareness. It builds credibility up. And as an accessibility educator and influencer, as a champion of change, do whatever it takes to capture the audience's hearts and minds. There's a lot of ease of educating people, and yeah, I was actually quite surprised when I looked it up. It was so many E's. It was E. But then I found the 3 that are my favorite. One of my favorite ones is very simple, and it ties back to keeping it simple, which is educate. I love this E, but I don't love it as much as the other 2, so don't get too excited yet. But you gotta know your audience, know what you came in to do. Speak to your audience and know what is important to them. Explain key terms, use statistics, but don't overdo it. You know, we're not in a math class. We don't need to hear, stat after stat. And of course, give actionable advice. This next E gets me all riled up. Engage. Engage, keep people interested, or also known as, well, this one's a little sneak peek on the having fun part. That's the 3rd E. Okay. So going back to the 2nd E, engage, keep people interested. That's one of my favorite KPIs. Get it? KPI? Keep people interested. Okay. Now we're talking. Thomas is in on this one. All right. Do polls and quizzes. Who here thinks quizzes are cool? Thank you. What about polls? Who likes to do a little poll? Okay, I don't know how polls started becoming cooler than quizzes. I don't know what happened there. But make polls and quizzes. Just have fun with people. Add visuals. Of course, use alt text if you're having images on your slides. And leave time for questions, which we'll have plenty of time for later, don't worry. And this last one. I love this last one. Entertain. You have to bring energy. Be real. Nobody wants a snooze fest. That wasn't part of the script. Share stories. Use analogies. And sprinkle some jokes. But only if your jokes are good ones. I ran into somebody at CSUN AT, that other accessibility conference that everyone loves. And I was in line, we're about to get pizza, and I was telling him, I'm gonna do something on KPIs here shortly, a presentation. He's like, yeah, KPIs, that's a boring topic. And I was like, yeah, but I'm gonna try to approach it from a comedic standpoint. And he was like, good luck, one time I gave a lot of jokes in my presentation, and they told me afterwards, those were inappropriate. And I told him, all right, well, probably keep yours to yourself then. But if you have good jokes, share them, sprinkle them. put them on everything. And of course, what we all love to do is have fun. On this slide, we have an image of me and Asha here as chefs. We did a presentation at our company where we were dressed up as chefs, and we gave a training on baking accessibility in the software development lifecycle. We put on chef hats. We realized this is not our look, but we did it anyway because it's so much fun to just switch things up if you can, if that's your vibe. And of course, the background. We did cartoon kitchen background on this one. So this is just a little flavor of me and Asha having fun. And over to you, Asha.
Well said, Kai. I can really relate to this. I wish I had access to these fun and engaging accessibility trainings long time back when I started my career as a developer. Long time back then, especially when I had to fix these accessibility bugs, right? It would have made a big difference, for sure. You can relate to this. Long time back, we were fixing literally how to literally, make it semantic, we didn't know. I feel like it's not easy for everyone to read through all those success criterias in, WCAG guideline, understand them, read through them, and apply them. It's not that easy, right? So we need to understand how to, fix that problem. We need to understand how to help them out. So the question is, how can we help engineers here? Oh, sorry. You want to go back? Okay. Yeah. So if we want accessibility to be just not the, to be more than just a checklist, we really need to bring it in our team culture. And that starts with upskilling. And I would say, like, number one, we need to agree on what accessibility means to our, what does accessibility, a good accessibility means to our company in our context. So that means defining best practices and making sure we have high quality training material, and very well defined training materials with us. That's one. I feel like people can be thinking differently, and that material should be easy to understand for everyone. Second one, this is really working out for us. Train new hires on LI best practices as a part of new hire onboarding. This is working out. What has literally changed by doing this? By embedding it into onboarding, we create a culture where inclusion is expected from day one. So that's a bigger change we have seen. And the third one, it helps to have champions, right? People who are really passionate and knowledgeable. These SMEs can help in doing accessibility code reviews, making sure your designs are compliant, helping in responding to the clients who are sending you big emails with the accessibility questions, making sure helping out in giving the trainings, creating a better material, making sure we have a planned trainings for across the organization. The fourth one is tailored trainings. Not everyone needs to know everything. Product owner, product designer, content editor, developer, QA, everyone needs to have a focused guidance, right? So tailored training makes it more relevant and more likely to stick. That's what I have experienced till now. When we give people a focused, when we give people the right tools, trainings, and support, accessibility stops being a burden and starts becoming a part of how we build better products. What do you guys?
Yes, Asha, great points. And this is Kai speaking. Even the most beautiful design can become inaccessible if it is not coded correctly. It's all about what's under the hood. And they hold a lot of power, engineers, and QA as well. So it's so important to tailor trainings and train your people, train your team, and get things right the first time as much as you can. And as you are training others, try to build meaningful relationships. Because with accessibility, you need to have everyone in on this. So get to know as many people as you can. Slow down. Get to know people. Find out what drives them. This slide says, meet people where they are. And in parentheses, it says, without judgment. And on top of it, there's a word bubble that says, it's okay to not know. What matters is that you're willing to learn. This has really been extremely powerful for all of the trainings that I think me and Asha have both given, where the first thing out of our mouth is usually letting people know, hey, it's okay to not know. You're here to learn. Thank you for showing up. It really brings people into the same level as everyone. We all start somewhere. Keep that in mind. Next, this one, call people in before calling people out. This one is personal. This one is personal. I learned this one for sure, and I would definitely recommend this one. One time, I went to another accessibility conference where I was flying home, and I'm so excited to post this picture from the conference on LinkedIn. So I'm on the Wi-Fi on the airplane, I'm typing it all out, I'm like, this is gonna be good, I can't wait to fill people in on this conference. I'm putting my alt text up, and I'm like, oh, I'm giving it a little extra sauce in this alt text, I'm giving it a little more attention, because I had the time. I was on the airplane, and the Wi-Fi wasn't that great, but it was able to be fine for alt text. I thought, great news, and I can't wait to land and see what people are saying back. Can't wait to get some reactions to this. And then we land, right? I'm not flying the plane, don't worry. But we land, and I get a message from somebody who I was at the conference with, who happens to be blind. And he said, hey Kai, you think you can add alt text to your images? I was devastated. I'm embarrassed. I just came from an accessibility conference posting pictures about a presentation I gave, and they're now telling me I don't even have alt text. I was like, oh, no. But the thing is that who knows what happened? Maybe I did forget to press save. Maybe the airplane Wi-Fi, maybe there was a bug. Whatever it was, all I know is that alt text did not land with the plane, right? That I know for sure. But luckily, my friend DM'd me. He messaged me, and he said, what he said to me in private, he called me in. He didn't put it on a reply on the post saying, oh, what are you, a fraud? What kind of accessibility professional are you? Where's the alt text? No. He called me in before calling me out, which gave me the chance to quickly fix it, apologize, and make things better. And most importantly, it built trust between the both of us. My respect went up for him, and his respect, well, I didn't ask him about that, but we're still friends, so hopefully it's up there. Who knows? But the point here is that once you get the knowledge yourself, you get the allies, you're teaching other people, you can start to drive change. And you will drive change. First, let's talk about bringing accessibility into your own work. First up, talk about it. Easy. Be the person who talks about it everywhere. When I hang out with my friends, guess what they're hearing about? That's right, accessibility. I have a few friends in this crowd, actually, who are fallen victim. Just kidding, not victim. But really, though, it is just something I'm always talking about. I know a lot of people in this crowd actually are always talking about accessibility. That's a champion of change. You're influencing others just by normalizing it, by making it something at every table, every party, every grocery line. Okay, you don't need to do grocery line chats, but next, make good decisions. Make good decisions, like who you talk to and don't talk to in the grocery store. Doesn't need to be chatty spot. But making good decisions is so important, just like small ones. What colors did we use in this PowerPoint. What colors did we use? There was one point where I had something in there and Asha called me in, thank you Asha, called me in and said, hey, I think this one's not meeting contrast ratio. And I, oops, sorry. I fixed it right away, thank you. And just small decisions add up. Just like not brushing your teeth for a few days in a row. One day maybe fine, a few days later, it adds up. Make good decisions, they all add up. Check your work. Run that PowerPoint checker before you send it off. Make sure you test your alt text when the plane lands. And make it a part of your goals. Bring it into your own responsibility and make the personal commitment to it. Let's see what we have to think about for engineers. Asha?
Sure, Kai, thank you. I'll take your strategy forward for engineers, bring accessibility into, their work. So engineers, like bringing LI to their work, I think following small steps consistently in our day-to-day activities, makes a difference for million users and without slowing us down as an engineer if we do it on, in our SDLC process and not afterthought. Linters are the big ones, which I would say start it with, and make sure you are putting pre-commit hooks. And by adding linters, you can save 20 to 40% of accessibility bugs going into production, and obviously the automation stuff as well. Okay, I remember we had Asha who was struggling with the div tag and on-click, and this is for Asha, making sure you are writing semantic code. If you're writing semantic code, half of your problem is solved. Like, make sure while developing it, not like afterthought. Engineers, while doing your testing, unit testing, you can use any kind of screen reader, different browsers. No need to be worried about one particular screen readers. QA will take care of that, but engineers, make sure you are validating at least one round with your unit testing, right? And I would suggest, while doing unit testing, make sure you use keyboard, not mouse, no mouse. Keep aside. You can get a lot of functional and accessibility issues caught early in the game. Start writing accessibility unit test cases. No one can break your code. Embed it in. It doesn't take much time if it's getting done while you're writing functional test cases. You are deciding on your external libraries. You have a feature to be developed. You got like a chart component. It'll take time to make it custom. You just go ahead and browse it in the website and figure it out which one is good. You check whether it's meeting your requirements or not. Also check whether that component is accessible or not, and plus validate whether they are continuously supporting that library or not. These are the few tips which I would like to share here from engineering side, thinking about before releasing it to production. And I already answered this question, but I would like to ask you again, if you were focusing on the first slide, what percentage of issues can accessibility linters catch with the pre-commit hook and the good accessibility linter? Anyone from the audience? You want to give the mic? Pass the mic, sorry.
Two.
20 to 40? Yes, 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 I already respond. So 20 to 40% for sure we can catch it if we are using it correctly by embedding pre-commit hooks. That's pretty much from my side on accessibility beyond your team. Kai?
Nice job, Asha. Guess we should have done a poll since everybody in this crowd likes polls more than quizzes. Let's really scale it up. Let's bring things to the next level. Let's talk about ways to scale accessibility beyond just yourself. First is good communication and advocacy. One of my main things is don't just tell people what to do, tell them why and how. Don't just tell people what to do, tell them why and how. Create a Teams channel. Be the person who allows other people to communicate together with other people too. Make it a safe space to talk about it and learn about it. Collaborate with partners and partner with groups and allies. This one is extremely powerful. As you are going around building relationships, you are finding allies. You're giving trainings, and it's those people who come up to you afterwards who say, thank you so much, that really impacted me because of X, Y, Z. Remember those people because they are your superpowers and you can amplify your impact through your allies. One time I actually had that happen to me where somebody came up at the end and said that exact thing. Thank you so much. This meant a lot to me because of X, Y, and Z. And I didn't hear from them for maybe 6 months or so. I come to find out they went back to their team and got right to work. They changed accessibility from being an afterthought to being a mandate for their team. Now going forward, all of the learning and development that all employees get are accessible. The team tests it with screen reader and they test it with keyboard. They make sure it's color contrast up to par, and accessibility is a part of their team culture. The point is here is that those small relationships, once you start to see the ripple effect, now you're really influencing change. The most influencing happens when you're not looking. Oh yeah, give detailed feedback. The good old feedback that's like, your app stinks. No. We can't do anything with that kind of feedback. Give detailed feedback. For example, you would say, hey, this button here, XYZ, on this page, isn't doing what it needs to for me, right? There's very specific feedback. Now that's easy for somebody to go and take action on and fix. So just in general, be detailed about that. And use metrics and tell stories. Metrics are important for tracking progress, but storytelling drives action. And of course, celebrate wins. Be loud about accessibility and pull up an extra chair if you need to for accessibility to have a spot at the table. Make sure you're giving kudos out to people who are doing a great job. I know there's several people here from the Teladoc team. We have Gina Garda, we have Jared Cantor, we have Marissa Gaffney, and we have other champions of change who have come across and helped accessibility grow and build. And we have John Armstrong in the back as well. Woo! Thank you so much. And this is so important to celebrate wins. Shout out to all of you who have made such a difference in accessibility at our company, and also to all of you for coming here today, just in general. Now you are here, this shows you are ready to go make change, and don't forget to celebrate wins. How about engineers? Ash, how can we scale a little for the engineers?
Scale accessibility beyond my team, yes. Make it part of your company's DNA and empower every department to contribute. That's what I would say. But from technology perspective, start embedding your tools in CI/CD pipeline. That helps a lot. That just blocks. You can't go to production. You have to fix it. Make sure whosoever has broke it. We used to do it in my earlier company. Whosoever breaks that build used to get the fine, and then we used to have a snacks party after a month. So make sure you break it, get a fine, and then enjoy every month. And add accessibility in your definition of doneness and acceptance criteria. That helps a lot, so that people are the set expectations, so people are not just guessing what needs to be done there, right? People guess a lot, like, oh, that's how it should be working with screen reader, with keyboard, without tab, with arrow keys. Make sure it's mentioned in definition of doneness. Create documentation and checklist and make them like role-based and specific your user tech stack. This is a good one, and it's working. This is literally, I love this. Adding that checklist in the PR, the pull request reviews, it is working like anything. Even if you have a PR review who is not familiar with accessibility, that person is also looking into it and validating the functional PRs and the actual code reviews by following those checklists which are mentioned. That checklist is not that big. It's just that validate it with screen reader. Okay, you have a recording. Just make sure you have keyboard focused elements, and you have all the embedded tools in there which you automatically get to break the build. So PR reviewer doesn't need to worry about those specific errors, but the ones which we directly cannot validate via automation, those are the things we need to make sure we are validating in code review. Build the guardrails to ensure the LI best practices. At times, there are few places where I cannot embed my tool. For example, content management system, right? I'm uploading an image, it's getting uploaded and pushed it to production. No one thought of adding alternate text. Make sure you as an engineer can just go ahead and add an required text field, which is going to be an alternate text field, which is a required one for that image, and no one can pass that flow without adding an alt image, whether that can be a decorative image or image with an alternate text. So engineers can think about it and start implementing it. It doesn't take much time, right? Lead by example. Bring engineers in accessibility discussions, which we generally do with product designers, content editors. In one of the conversation, there was an acronym mentioned by a content editor, and we were asking like, can we make it like a full content here instead of just adding acronym, and we can add it in brackets so that people who cannot understand this, or at times screen reader doesn't read these acronyms better, it would be helpful for us. So content editor agreed, engineer was like, yeah, this is a good one for good for me to implement it. Product designer, product owner, everyone were there, and we agreed upon, fixed it, early in the game before even starting the development. Work one-on-one with engineers. At times, people join accessibility meetings, but the beginners at times feel like I might be asking a silly question. There is no silly question. Go ahead, ask them. At times, they hesitate to ask it. So I would suggest make a good relation with your engineers and make sure they are coming to you and pinging you in private and just chatting with you, and give that comfort to your team or beyond your team. That's what I would like to say. And we can also plan a bugathon. While the company is fixing all functional issues, let's see how many accessibility issues we have. We can bring it in bugathon. So lead by example. That's what comes to my mind, but there can be more than that. Okay.
Awesome tips, Asha. This is Kai speaking. Thank you so much, Asha. That was amazing. I love those. Oh my goodness, we are in for some fun here. We've come to my favorite part here. Keep in mind that a lot of people might just instantly push back when you talk about accessibility. There is just a lot of times a big knowledge gap. So you have to make it safe to learn about for people. And at times you might find yourself repeating yourself a lot. Get comfortable with that. But by responding calmly, by helping people to reframe how they're thinking of it, it will make it a lot easier for them to do the right thing. So here are a few one-liners that we like to keep in our back pocket. Asha, let's get started with the engineering ones first.
Sure, Kai. Technical one-liners, which I generally have to repeat. No ARIA is better than bad ARIA, right? It's not just about ARIA, it's about all accessibility properties you are using while you are developing. Don't use it if you don't know how to use it. It's better, know. First understand it, what's the right way of using it. We can't use ARIA label everywhere where I have like button mentioning the very well explained content, right? I don't need to use ARIA label. I can just get rid of it, remove it. No tab index is better than wrong tab index. At times, people are putting tab index wherever the focused element is required. No need. It'll get done automatically. Remove it. Only put it wherever it's needed. So these are the things, very, very small things. If we follow these, like, we can solve so many things while we are developing. Use responsive design to support zooming and text resizing. I know people have started thinking long time back about mobile first designs. I support accessibility first designs, and think about that while you are getting the designs from your designers. Think about whether it's just mobile first or it's accessibility first. Okay, this one is my favorite. You are building your feature, you got one accessibility bug. Make sure you are not moving it to tech debt. If you move it to tech debt, after 1 year, you are building one more team with a good amount of people, resolving those costs, reduce that cost while you are building a feature. It's so fast to make your feature accessible than fixing it after one year by some other team. So that's my favorite one. And obviously, everyone knows semantic code is accessible code. That's my favorite one, which if we follow that while writing the code, we can do like big shots here. Over to you, Kai.
Nice. Okay. Woohoo! Who's ready for some general one-liners here? Thank you, Asha. I love those. We're gonna go quick on these. I know we're short on time. I want to give everyone time for Q&A, but these ones are my favorite ones that I actually copy and paste. I use these so often. Accessible design is good design. This one, you can even flip it like a pancake and say it the other way around. Good design is accessible design. Accessibility is usability and compliance. I like this one so much I could kiss it. How can we make this more inclusive? I love that one. That's such a good question. I love to ask that one. How would somebody who is blind use your product? Oh my gosh, this one gets the people going. This one, ask that to everyone. If you have a product person in your vicinity, ask them this question. Accessibility is everyone's job. Remember, change happens when people make it happen. You don't need a title to create change. You don't need authority to get started. What you need is passion, persistence, and a willingness to invest in what matters. And while the journey might sometimes feel uphill, know that every small action, every small change contributes to a larger wave of change. Today, we hope that you learned something, but more importantly, we hope that you believe in yourself to challenge the status quo and bring others along the way. Speaking of others, I think it's time for us to check in on Sky and Skasha.
Sky, what an event!
A11Y is my middle name now. And we built it right the first time, every time.
Let's agree. Native elements first, custom buttons to be implemented only if we know how to make it accessible.
I agree. Also, I promise to use an accessibility checklist before finalizing mockups. I'll even get accessibility acceptance criteria added to every story. Skasha, let's get that button fixed ASAP.
Oh, yes. I fixed it, that bad boy, on my way home. I tested it with keyboard, axe tool, and screen reader as well. QA passed it, and it's released to production. Sky, inaccessible is unacceptable. It's up to us to do the right thing.
That's right. That's the spirit, Skasha. I'm so glad we did the right thing. And now we're going to do it every time for everyone. Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe it.
What?
I just got an email from the end user. They said, hey, thanks for finally making that button that I can actually press. I love this feature.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you. You heard our SNL, and now it's time for your SNL. Start now.
Lead.
Thank you.
Kai, Asha, awesome talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stay up because we got Q&A.
oh,
we got Q&A.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
Head and tail, yeah.
Cool. So we got about, I'd say 5 minutes for Q&A. So I'll kind of start in the room and I'll take some from online and we'll go back and forth. We'll try to get as many in as we can in about 5 minutes. Any in the room to start? If not, I'll take, okay, I see one. Hang on. People online won't hear.
What do you think about the Wave tool? Because I used that at my last job. It's like a Chrome extension.
Great, thank you for the question. This is Kai speaking. The question is about the Wave tool, if we like it or just general feedback. I like the Wave tool. I also really like the Axe tool.
Yeah.
Asha, you want to add anything on?
Rather than Wave, I like Axe tool. You get more things over there in Axe rather than Wave. So, yeah.
And this is Kai speaking again. I also love to double dip. I'm a double dipper. I'll do both tools.
As an engineer, I prefer one tool.
So
real.
following on that one, are there suggested specific tools for developers, which linters, sample PR templates with a short checklist, with links to easy examples? Any kind of templates or repositories that you like that are your go-tos or that you send folks to that are public?
Linters, ESLint JSXLI plugin is the best one I have ever seen. We have one from DQ as well, Accessibility Axe Linter. That's also good, which we have used. So these are the two brings you, too much into the game, and you can catch as many issues as you can. But specific to your code, that's what I mentioned. Writing more accessibility unit test cases you can get in. But if you want to, try out, we had like events as well. Started this journey. They are also bringing up very, good tools here.
Great. Another in room, yeah.
Thank you so much. That was fun.
Thank you.
I have a question about the actual workflow, right? Like, so you said that, let's say you start with semantics, right? Like,
Yes.
then you go into Axe tool, like a developer tool,
Yes.
to go through that, and then you go into like a screen reader.
Yes.
Or you do screen reader first, and then so what will be
So
like
first
the
is like
better?
you are writing your code, making sure you have like linters added, so that small linting issues can be caught early in the game, and then you are making sure you have at the same time in your package.json you have Axe code as well embedded, so that Axe is actually checking your DOM, document object model, on top of your HTML structure, whether anything broke or not, which linter cannot catch. So that's why we need another tool to check our
Is
DOM.
the X tool for like
Axe
this
code.
code kind of thing?
Axe-core.
Is
That's
that
it.
paid or free version?
That's a free version.
Because I know like the developers tools, because we actually had Axe guy here last time. And so it's a free tool, but then if you want more, then there, you have to pay for that. So that's why I'm just specifying.
So that's why we have embedded Axe into our this end-to-end test cases. So we are catching early in the game before even it goes to production.
you.
And then you go ahead manual testing, make sure with the screen reader, and if you pay that Axe, then you can automatically get your thing done with the keyboard navigation. Those are paid with the Axe.
Thanks. Another one from online. How do you help move organizations past the mindset of we want to get this in people's hands quickly, so we'll just do accessibility later?
This is Kai speaking. And the question is how to get organizations past just thinking you need to ship out products fast. That's a reasonable question and a reasonable circumstance to be in for a business, right? You want to get products out. You want also products to be high quality. I tend to try to push accessibility and go by the mindset of accessibility is a part of quality, and it is. If one person can't use it because of XYZ reason, it's going to be a lot of people who can't use it, and therefore then you have a quality issue. So I think helping to reframe it as this is a part of quality and helping guide the teams who are across the whole software development lifecycle, the SDLC, to understand the importance of accessibility and the tools that they can use to make it easier to get it done the first time around and not as tech debt. And the other thing is tech debt really sucks. So
We have policy as well.
and policies, you can put policies in place and checklists and use different tools. So it's definitely a process. It's not just something that overnight you're like, hey, great idea, let's all get in on this. It takes time. But keep going, keep pushing, and keep in mind it is worth it.
And also like prioritizing, making sure you are building a feature, make sure at least your blocker and high priority bugs are not there in production. At least if you can fix those while developing the feature. And we have policies in place, so everyone is following that.
Cool. I think we got 1 minute left, so probably one more in room. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And when I heard Saturday Night Live, I was expecting more cowbell. I didn't get any. So you mentioned that you workshops, I guess is the best way to do it, into the onboarding process. And you start off with a general one and then go into detailed ones. So what would you put in the general workshop as opposed to like the technical workshop? Because I know I can talk about ARIA all the time, but the next salesperson or accounting or whoever is not going to care about that stuff. So what would you put in those two buckets?
That's why I mentioned about tailored training. Like Kai takes like product owner, product designer, I take specific for engineers. So we divide it in between, and we have one for who is taking QA specific trainings for new hires. So we have tailored it out.
I was specifically asking about the one before that. So you just have the general onboarding and talk about accessibility, like what it is, how you should do it, like that.
Yes, generic. Yeah, you want to say?
Oh, no, sorry. I was just like,
No, go ahead.
I love that question, and thank you for asking that. I love that you're gathering, and I love that you love to talk about ARIA. I want to bring you around with me everywhere, Great. Let's get drinks after.
ARIAs are like,
So the answer is, just basic, hey, this is what accessibility is. I was surprised how many people, not like in my current job now, but like just in general, when I first started really giving trainings in the general space, how many people actually showed up thinking I was talking about like access to databases? And I'm like, whoa, let's at first define it. Let's get everyone on the same page here. Let's all use the same language. I like to talk about disability types, disability etiquette, the inclusive language, and just general introduction to the processes that accessibility has.
Yeah, making sure they know about like as a company what policy you follow. You follow like level 8, level AA, level AAA. They might not be knowing about those terms, but just make sure in their mind so that when they start going into their teams, they understand what level they should be following, especially engineers, right, and designers obviously and QAs.
Okay, Kai, Asha, thank you again so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Make sure I'm clicking things in the right direction. We've got a handful of announcements, more so than usual tonight. So first, just want to say again, thanks to our team in front of and behind the scenes, Thomas, Irina, online, Jolly running the AV, Flip for ASL interpretation, Mirabai for captions, Meryl running the live stream in the background. Really appreciate everybody that helps make this come together, but it's all thanks to you all. We have the most amazing community, and we couldn't do this without you all being here, so thank you both in person and online. Let me make sure I'm going in the right direction here. Maybe? Okay, so next month we've got a special Accessibility NYC event. We are not in this space next month. We are at Civic Hall. It's June 3rd, usual time, but we are in partnership with Verizon. Verizon is running an all-day ADA 35th anniversary celebration event in Civic Hall from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then they've got a happy hour from 5 to 6-ish, 6:30, something there. And then we will start our event at the usual times, arriving 7 and 7:30. As part of that event for June 3rd, our meetup, we don't have a single speaker that month. We are accepting lightning talk submissions. So if you have something you'd like to talk about in the sphere of accessibility, 5 to 10 minute talk, we'd love to hear from you. We are accepting submissions right now for presentations. There's a QR code on screen. I don't know if it's going to work with the scrambly screen thing happening. Okay, it does work. But the URL is bit.ly/A11YNYC0603. So that's June 3rd. bit.ly/A11YNYC0603. Our applications for Lightning Talks closes at 11:59 p.m. on May 15th. That's Eastern time. So then we've got some time to review and select who's going to be able to speak and line everything up. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you if you're going to be able to join that event. Additionally, I mentioned Verizon's event earlier that day. They have 75 in-person attendee slots available specifically for our meetup group. So if you are interested in joining, they've got a series of speakers throughout the day speaking about different aspects of accessibility, disability inclusion. Again, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Civic Hall if you can get off work that day or make it a work thing that you're kind of getting out of work for. I'd love to see you there. Again, 75 in-person attendee slots. That URL, QR code also on screen, bit.ly/VZ-ADA35. bit.ly/VZ-ADA35. And then the last thing is we are starting a Slack community. We've heard some feedback from people that they'd love to be able to continue the conversation after the fact, and the Meetup platform is not the best for that, for kind of bi-directional conversations. We want to be able to continue the dialogue directly with all of you. We are graciously being hosted by the Web Alley Slack workspace, which many of you may already be members of. There is a new channel that is hashtag A11YNYC Meetup, so you can search for that if you already have, if you're already on the platform. If not, we've got instructions on how to hop on Slack. Third QR code, last of the night, I promise. bit.ly/A11YNYC Slack. There's some instructions there. You do need to receive an invitation from an existing member. So anybody that's part of the Web Alley Slack already can invite you, or ping Thomas, ping me, ping Arena, and we can add you, email you an invitation. I have some instructions at that URL if you haven't used Slack before. I think I need to correct one step of it. You will get an invitation. Someone will send you an invitation. It goes to an admin team. That's not our team. It's the main Slack admin team for that workspace. They will review and approve those. So once someone sends you an invitation, it might take a little while for that to get approved before you actually get your access. Yeah, something new we're trying based on feedback from all of you. So we want to continue to make this more and more available to a wider audience. So appreciate the feedback. Okay, that's the last thing for everybody here and online. You're welcome to hang out here for the next 15, 20 minutes or so while we clean up and continue talking here. But ultimately, tonight anybody that's interested can kind of continue on over to Crosby Bar, which is a left out of the building and then a right at Crosby Street. And it's about halfway down the next block. It's very close. Yeah, love to have you join us and continue to have a chat there if you'd like. Yes, I think that's everything. I don't know what I've missed. Oh yeah, great stickers. And
Sorry, online.
And we need to let our captioner and ASL and online team go. for the evening. So that is it. Thank you all very much for being here. Thanks again to our sponsors. I'm sure I'm not going to try to rattle everybody off because I know we had a bunch of other stuff tonight. But thank you all very much for being here. We appreciate it. Y'all rock.
Bits together. I really love it. No, it's so nice. And thanks for giving me these back because I always forget.
One engineer to another.